Good afternoon. I'm Sheriff Noel Stephen with the Okeechobee County Sheriff's Office. I'm here to give you an update on the shooting that we had early morning hours of yesterday, Sunday. Located in the southwest corner of Okeechobee County is a recreational area that we call Scott Driver Boat Ramp Pavilion. It's owned by Okeechobee County and rented to citizens of the community that want to have a function, gathering, things of that nature. We had a family that had rented the building for a 16-year-old daughter's birthday, quinceañera, I believe is how that's pronounced. And they were having that occasion there. As I said, in the early morning hours, it started on Saturday and extended into early Sunday morning. And shortly after midnight, there was an altercation between several young underage gentlemen on the premises of the complex. During the course of this altercation, gunfire was exchanged between several of the individuals, resulting in a 16-year-old white male being shot and killed, and 3 others hit with bullet fire that were treated and released from Rollerson Hospital earlier in the morning. Of course, we were called, we responded. Deputies were on scene very quickly. We had intercepted a vehicle that was leaving the area that had 2 gunshot victims in the vehicle, one of which was the later deceased young man. We have provided you with a packet. Inside the packet has an aerial of the complex, a picture of our arrestee, and then also a redacted report. During the course of our investigation, we ended up arresting a 17-year-old Okeechobee gentleman by the name of Sebastian Urbino. Sebastian had been involved in the altercation and was witnessed standing over our deceased and firing rounds into him while he was on the ground. So he has been charged with first-degree murder and going to first appearance in the morning. That's about all the information right now. Of course, this is all fresh and new. I'll try to answer the questions as best as I can at this point. But as I said, we're still trying to figure out exactly what happened.
So Sheriff, 17 years old, Mr. Urbano, is he being charged as an adult?
Well, at this point, he's still a juvenile, so that process will be, but I'm sure that later he will be prosecuted as an adult.
And were there multiple guns involved in this incident?
We're still trying to figure that out, but we're suspecting that at this point.
Fired once on the victim, and then fired 3 more times is what you're saying. Does that add to the malice in this crime?
It will eventually, I'm sure, and be brought up in later during the court hearings and prompted why we took the action that we have.
Is there any reason to believe that this might be gang related?
We're really unsure at this point. We don't know what the argument was about. All we know, based on statements that we've received thus far, which are not as cooperative as we would like them to be. I don't have a crystal ball to polish to tell me what happened, so I've got to rely upon the information that I get from our citizens. So it's something that we're going to try to figure out.
Is the boat ramp open to the public after sundown?
It is closed. You can walk on there. You can't drive in there. But there are pass-through gates that you can go out there to the facility and walk out to the point and see the area that this had occurred at.
Okay. Obviously, a minor lost their life in this situation. I know Okeechobee County is very close-knit. A lot of people know this individual and their family. How is it affecting you as a department and your deputies?
It's a sad reflection of our society today. It's when anybody has an altercation, disagreement, whatever, and firearms get brought into the middle of it, it is not a good mix. And especially when our 16, 17-year-old kids that are fussing and arguing as 16 and 17s do, fighting over girls or little things, and that they seem, that point is just tremendous in their life. Arguing with guns in their hands is not a good thing. I had to do the death notification to the deceased family myself Sunday morning.
Are you looking at more suspects right now, or are the other parties involved only being looked at as victims?
We have reason to believe that there are other suspects, other involvements, other guns, and we are going to find out who's all responsible. And more than likely, yes, ma'am, there will be further charges to come forth with this case.
Were you able to recover any guns from the scene, and do you know the origin of those guns?
We have recovered a gun from the scene, and we do not know that answer yet, but we are looking into it.
I was out there like an hour ago. I see that you have people out there in the water.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you looking for other guns right now?
Our purpose of that is evidence recovery. So, we can't expect that we don't look for. So that's what we're doing out there now, is seeing if there was any evidence, and we have collected some evidence from that operation that we will release to you later.
Can you tell us whether or not there were multiple casings from different types of weapons at the scene?
We don't know at this point. We are still processing the evidence, so we took priority to process the deceased young man so the family could have their goodbyes. So we just collected what we could find. But I will tell you that we found almost 24 shell casings on scene.
And Urbano was taken to the hospital because he was also shot. And whilst there, in addition to the witness information that eyewitness that they saw him standing above the deceased victim, he also said some things in the hospital to sheriff's deputies.
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
About how many people were at the party?
We're still trying to figure that out, ma'am. We're still interviewing, and we're really not sure. It was at the latter part of it. Some people were outside cleaning up as the younger kids were outside, so I still don't have an exact number on that.
What further information are you looking for from witnesses who might have been at the party and seen something?
What happened? Exactly that. What happened? What caused this? Who done what? It's a very dramatic thing, and we need the assistance from the community to figure it out.
Do you have reason to believe that Urbano showed up to that party looking for a fight?
We believe Urbano was there. We believe the deceased and another friend showed up after they were already there. So we're still trying to figure out those. So
This happened outside of the party.
Correct. Outside of the building. When you go to the complex has a pavilion, and then outside there's a lot of broad area, and the younger ones were outside that were involved in the fight, and a lot of older folks were inside.
Well, I guess my question is from where I saw the detectives kind of searching in the water, that's kind of far away from where the building is located. So is that kind of where the fight took place?
Oh no, ma'am. That you seen the dive operation going on. One of the victims had moved to that location, to nearby that location, after the incident and altercation had happened. So that's why we were doing evidence recovery in that area.
Is there reason to believe that somebody may have thrown a gun in the water?
Possibly. That's what we're looking for. So we don't know that answer until we follow through with all the motions. And of course, as you see that area, it's a 5-acre, waterway, thereabouts in that close proximity. So there's a lot of diving to be done just to try to, recover any evidence that's there.
It appears from the report that we got that the victim was shot initially and then shot again upon Urbano, I presume, standing over him. Was he shooting to kill?
We don't know that question. We don't know that answer, or should I say, the medical examiner's doing their autopsy this morning. We'll have more once that's completed. So I give you all the basics. I appreciate y'all coming. We'll keep you up to speed as we update.
Sure. One of the victims in a vehicle when he was shot.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All right. Thank y'all.